So here we are going into week 3 of hunkering down at home with our families. And look, I'm here with my family. I haven't got any crew, so I'm shooting it on my phone. My wife's become the camera lady. And look, I just want to do my bit and give you inspiration, give you ideas for delicious meals that are flexible recipes and principles that will arm you with the confidence to look at what you've got in your home. You might not have everything. You might be waiting for a delivery or a click and collect or whatever it is that you're doing. But if you look at the principles I'm going to show you, you should be able to just pull things out and swap other things in. And that's what cooking is really all about. So guys, come on, let's come together. Let's have a little cook up and let's make something delicious. We can do this. So I'm going to show you a recipe for golden breadcrumb salmon. This is delicious. It's a brilliant way of turning your everyday fish into the most gorgeous thing. The crunch, the golden, the flavor is so good. Then inside the flaky, perfectly cooked fish, it's going to be an absolute barnstormer. My family absolutely love it. I've got some flour here. Any flour you've got is absolutely fine. I've got 2 eggs and I've got some breadcrumbs. Now the breadcrumbs can be fresh breadcrumbs or stale breadcrumbs. Now, I want to show you, before I get going on this, a way of completely transforming the norm, the standard, into something exceptional. So I have a little help from my little food processor here. It's so small, it's hilarious. Essentially what you do is just take the bread, stale or sort of semi-stale, and just whiz it up, right? And if you have a look over the top there, Jules. So here is the hand of my wife, getting a close-up, and I love you so much for this. You're not allowed to laugh, you're supposed to be professional. So what we have here is some Parmesan cheese. You could use cheddar. Normally a sort of harder cheese is better. Then we have some porridge oats. We've got almonds here. Of course, it could be cashews, it could be peanuts, it could be pine nuts, you know. But again, more nutrition. Garlic, fantastic for sort of, you know, garlic bread encrusted salmon, chicken. Yeah, you see where I'm going now. And then herbs, dried or fresh. So let's try and make this a little bit more exciting by putting the nuts in there, some oats in there, and some cheese in there. I'll strip off any herbs. That's rosemary, thyme, oregano, fresh, dried. It's all good, guys. Right, garlic goes in. And then we're gonna wazz it up. This is gonna give you the best breadcrumbs ever. So let's take our humble piece of salmon, brilliant fish, okay? And we're going to go into the flour.
What if the skin's on? Does it matter, or would you prefer that all the
Good question. You are so good. You're so much.
About when I'm going to make this when they're
at
school.
You can either remove it, which is pretty simple when it's portioned up, or leave it on, because a lot of the essential oils are in the skin as well. And also, kids would normally not eat skin, but when it's in a crunchy crust, they often do. So we're going to go in the flour like that, and I'm going to use and I'm going to use my left hand for the salmon, flour and eggs, and then my right hand for the breadcrumbing. And once you've done that, you can kind of brush off any excess like that, and we lay it onto our trays. And there's your first breadcrumb salmon. Look at that. Crispy bread, garlic, herbs, cheese, absolutely brilliant. So you can put those in the fridge, do it the day before. You can even freeze them like that. The question now is, how do you combo it up? And look, we're not in a restaurant, we're at home. We're going to do a chopped salad, which Buddy will do later. And then we wanted to do some chips. A really nice swap out if you're shopping is to go from potatoes to sweet potatoes. And then what I want to do is stand up, very carefully, just ease your knife in like this, put your hand on top, and then just cut through it. And then put your knife in here and just cut it into sort of like 1.5 inch chunks, right? Roughly the same size. Now, when these roast, it's going to be fantastic. So what we're going to do here is just dress them up. So to do that, I'm going to use a few things. Our friend, Mr. Olive Oil. I'll definitely season it with salt and pepper. So give them a nice little mix up. So there you go, lovely people. Beautiful, homemade, breaded salmon that's going to be amazing. Dressed up sweet potato. I'll whack these in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius. These will go in for about 55 minutes. These will go in for about 15 minutes. So I'll put those in later and then I'll show you how beautiful they are. Yours is feeding Little River, so I'm going to sort of serve up now. Sweet potato. Pops, let's do you first, darling. Okay, Daisy's coming up first. bit of lemon. So there you go, nice little dinner. Salmon, crusted, chopped salad, sweet potatoes. So today is a very, very special day. It's little baby Petal's birthday. She's 11 years old. I haven't got everything that I would normally have to do a birthday cake, but the fundamentals are here. So I'm gonna do it anyway, so I thought I'd share it with you. It's an amazing chocolate cake that is so simple, so reliable, so delicious. Now, if you look in here, I've got some golden caster sugar here. I only had 130 grams. I've literally run out of sugar. And then I made it up with 70 grams of icing sugar. So it doesn't matter if you go from white sugar, golden sugar, icing sugar. It's all good, guys. So that is our 200 grams going straight in. So in this pan, I've got 1 inch of water and I'm bringing it to a simmer. Just put a bowl on top of that. Don't let it touch the water. And we're going to melt the butter, the sugar, and the chocolate. So let this melt for about 5 or so minutes and give it a stir every now and again, just scraping around the sides. It will turn into the most amazing sea of chocolate. It's going to be amazing. Now I have a little heart-shaped mould, okay, which is about sort of 11 inches in size. You could absolutely use a cheesecake mould or another kind of round mould. The next stage, we're going to add to this bowl the chocolate. So have a look at that. The butter, the chocolate and the sugar has all melted. You can see it's a little bit grainy, but that will go. All of that chocolate goes in, every last bit. Use a spatula for this, guys. We're going to add 6 eggs. We'll crack those in, and then we'll go from a spatula here to a whisk. So I'm going to stand up for this, lovely people. So it's now going to do beautiful things, right? We'll whisk in that first egg, and then we'll crack in the second, and we'll crack in the third. So I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla paste or extract. So that goes in. And then I'm thinking chocolate orange. Love these little babies. All you need, literally all you need, is 2 or 3 little gratings of orange. And then last but not least, to give it the structure, I've got 200 grams of self-raising gluten-free flour. So I'll sift that in, and that is it. I'm just going to now fold this flour into the mix. And then as soon as you've kind of got all of the flour mixed in, look at that, guys, come on. Look at that. Ho, 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 ho. Proper chocolatey gorgeousness. And I'm going to pour this into our mould. Look at that. And we will bake that for about 50 minutes at 160 degrees Celsius. There you go. Right, this will go in the oven now, and then I'll show you what to do next. 200 grams of chocolate into here, and I've just used any chocolate I can get my hand on. Sit at the end if you want. Come sit here. Yes.
Can I have a little bit of lick?
Yeah, you can have a lick in a second. So the buttercream part is very, very simple. So I've got 200 grams of icing sugar.
Wow. I love chocolate.
Oh my goodness me.
Dad, buddy,
Close up.
Dad, can I have a lick of chocolate? What?
I'm going to go in with 200 grams of butter.
Oh, you can't have it now.
And then I'll just work it together. And now what we're going to do is just mix the butter and the sugar and the chocolate all together to make a beautiful buttercream. Come on, look at that little beauty. Of course, what we need to do now is let it cool down, and then let's try and mimic hearts in raspberries. So that goes there like that. Do you think it looks like a heart, buddy? More like a triangle.
Oh yeah, it looks like a heart.
So there you go, lovely people, lovely birthday cake. Dress it up how you like, do what you want, breathe.
That is so good.
Are you gonna blow?